Raita is a cooling yogurt sauce that's used in India a lot with curries, with pretty much anything, and it can vary quite a bit. The vegetables that can go in, there could be potato or there could be eggplant. The most common thing is cucumber, or at least it's the most common thing in the US. And so I was going to make some today and show you how to make it. I love to eat it with all sorts of things. Sometimes I just like to eat it plain with maybe a little bit of naan bread or with a little bit of pita, which I'm sure is a very American thing to do too. But it's still delicious, and in the summer it's incredibly cooling, and when you have, you know, cucumbers showing up in your yard and you want to use them, this is a great way to do it. So what I've done is I've minced up a little bit of shallot. It's half a shallot, and put it in the bottom of the bowl and sprinkled it with a little bit of salt. I feel like the salt helps draw out some of the moisture in the shallot, and I feel like that kind of softens the flavor of it a little bit, takes away some of the sharpness. You can make raita with garlic very easily. I think it's a little bit strong sometimes in the summer when I'm eating a lot of it, because I do eat a lot of it. I like to use shallot because it's just a little bit milder, but use whatever you'd like. Any sort of allium, onion, shallot, garlic is okay to use, but you don't want it to be so filled with garlic or onion that it overwhelms the entire thing. So this is half a shallot minced up, a little salt sprinkled on it. I usually do that, mince up the shallot first, sprinkle on the salt, and then finish mincing all of my other herbs and veggies, but I've already done that for you today, so just pretend it's been waiting there for a minute. What I have here is one small cucumber that I've also cut up into very small pieces. It's not really minced, but it's like a fine dice. And then I have what's probably about a 1/4 cup of chopped mint and a 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro. And I love the mint and the cilantro together. The flavor is just, it's so refreshing and delicious and herbal and yummy. I'm just going to toss this up before I add the yogurt and the spices, just so there's a little, because there's a little bit of salt on the shallots, that'll get onto the rest of everything too. That's always a good thing. Then I'm going to add some yogurt, and I would say for this amount it's probably about a cup of yogurt that I'm going to add, if you insist that I measure. But you know, more or less to suit your taste. What you basically want it to do is make sort of a nice sauce with the vegetables, and so that it's sort of, it's thick. You don't want so much yogurt that everything's lost in there, but at the same time, you know, too little yogurt would be not as good either. And then it's time for seasoning. I have a little bit of cumin. This is probably a 1.5 teaspoons of cumin that I've toasted. I've actually ground up the seeds, and I've toasted the seeds and then ground it up because that makes it just all the more aromatic. And cumin is, I think, really necessary in raita. I think it just makes it, gives it an earthiness that's really delicious. 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and even though raita is a cooling thing and you would serve it usually with maybe a hot curry, when I'm just going to serve it maybe on a chicken salad, I often do like a very spiced up chicken salad, stuff it into a pita with some lettuce and then add a little raita to it, and I like to just add a little bit of a kick to it. I think it just kind of makes it more interesting. And it's not hot exactly because the yogurt has a very cooling effect, but the cayenne just makes it good. And then you want to add a fair amount of salt because the yogurt is tangy and the cucumber can take a little bit of salt. You want to add a few healthy pinches. This is kosher salt, so it's not as much as it looks like if you were using table salt. That would be too much. And then you just stir it up, and then it's good to let it sit in the refrigerator for maybe an hour or so to let the flavors meld and the herbs and the veggies to just kind of soften and really get all its flavor into it. And then I'll just dunk regular pita into it. I'll serve it with curry. I'll serve it on vegetables that I've grilled. I'll just eat it, really. I mean, it's just good eating. And a great summertime cool-off dish.